Hi, I'm Colleen Bamford, and thanks for joining us for another edition of Worcester in Focus. We're coming to you from Shore Park, one of Worcester's beaches, and also one of the spots of the Wheels to Water program. Now in its fifth season, the annual Wheels to Water program offers free transportation to the city's youth to cities, parks, and beaches. It also aims to teach children how to swim, as well as general water safety techniques. The program kicked off on July 1st. It's open to all city youth between the ages of 7 to 17. They just need to register either online at worcesterma.gov or at any neighborhood organization around Worcester. The program will run through the second week in August. We'll look into some new features to Wheels to Water in our next edition of Worcester in Focus. Fun in the sun was far from many city officials' minds in June as they worked to pass the annual fiscal budget. On June 18th, the City Council unanimously approved the $564 million annual municipal budget that went into effect on July 1st. Highlights of the budget include funding for a 25-member police recruit class and a 20-member firefighter recruit class. Both classes are likely to begin in September or October. It also increases funding for the public schools, restores services at the Worcester Public Library, and prepares for administrative transition in the Department of Public Works and Parks in response to Commissioner Robert Moylan's planned retirement at the end of the year. The budget also establishes a division of energy and asset management that will be responsible for supervising the city's ongoing energy efficiency measures and overseeing city facilities, including City Hall, the Public Library, the Senior Center, the Department of Inspectional Services on Meade Street, and Union Station. Following the budget vote, the councilors submitted their annual evaluation of City Manager Michael O'Brien. With a total score of 4.55 out of 5, O'Brien received praise for his handling of the city's finances, economic development initiatives, management efficiencies, and the delivery of public services. Speaking of new buildings, a new state-of-the-art facility in Washington Square is now open for business. The Worcester Regional Transit Authority recently cut the ribbon on its new transportation hub. It's located adjacent to Union Station and will be a key component of the city's intermodal transportation system.
It's going to mean a lot for Worcester. I mean, it's bringing this WRTA into a new era, if you will, moving from the past, and with all the new technology and this new building brings for our riders, it's going to be very significant for them. And I think they'll see over time just how beneficial it's going to be. It's going to be convenient, safe, easy to get to places now, one-stop shopping, not only with our service, but the relationships we have now in close proximity with Peter Pan and Greyhound, the MBTA's commuter rail. Heck, we even have a bike location outside.
This is the hub of Worcester now, and that's just what we're looking for. It also is a symbol of something else. It's also a symbol of a transportation unit that looked like it was going to die a few years ago, and that has pulled itself up by its bootstraps, has gotten all their efficiencies and economies of scale under control now, and they are doing well. And it's wonderful to see an RTA that literally is in the black.
The WRTA also used the ribbon cutting to announce it is continuing its program of turning to environmentally friendly vehicles. The Transit Authority will purchase 6 all-electric buses, and plans are also in the works to add to its fleet of hybrid vehicles. There's also work underway to improve the sidewalks in front of and around City Hall. Crews started pulling up the old concrete in late June. The new sidewalk plaza area is slated to be completed in November. Work continues at a steady pace on the $23 million renovation of Worcester's DCU Center. The arena is undergoing both exterior and interior upgrades, the first since the building opened as the Worcester Centrum 30 years ago. The exterior upgrade is meant to complement the nearby City Square project. Inside, work is moving ahead on redesigning the box office, expanding the concourse, and upgrading the building's infrastructure. The DCU Center has been closed while the work is underway. Plans are on track to complete the refurbishment by October. Here's a phrase you don't hear every day, world champions. But in fact, Worcester is now home to the 2013 VEX Robotics World Championship team from Worcester Technical High School. The team took on the world, teams from all across every continent in Anaheim, California, and they brought home the gold. This year's VEX Robotics Championship included 420 top high school teams from 23 countries. But before the Worcester Tech team took off for sunny California and the World Championship, they gave their hometown a preview of the soon-to-be winning robot.
Dump it. Which one do I dump? This?
Yeah.
There you go.
Even before the big win, these students, with guidance from their teachers and mentors, knew they built something special.
I'm excited with the fact that I think this is our best year so far.
I'm really excited. We're all pretty excited. It being my second year, I think it's still going to be really fun no matter how many times I go.
This year, the team received support from Worcester Polytechnic Institute, National Grid, Mezzo Automation, Quinsigamond Community College, and EMC. All were essential in making the trip to the World Championship possible. The Techno Commandos, as the team calls itself, is made up of sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So the bulk of the team will be back next year and ready to take on the world again. Worcester City officials have a goal to make the heart of the Commonwealth the healthiest city in New England by year 2020. Worcester In Focus's Sean Foley tells us one way the city plans to reach that goal.
The first annual Worcester Running Festival will hit the ground running on June 15th, 2014. There will be 3 events, a 1K youth run, a 5K run, and a half marathon. Organizers are confident that this will be a continuation of a Worcester running tradition.
This is a great city with a great history of running. I'm a former member of Central Mass Striders. At the time I used to run, they had over 1,000 runners in the club, so it's the largest club in New England.
Organizers expect the event will draw runners from all around the Northeast. And Breege believes the plans for the half marathon is something that's never been done before.
We're going to put it out to the public, the community, to help us design a course. I've recently found out there's 7 hills in Worcester, and I'm going to try to avoid them.
Public Health Director Derek Brandizzi hopes this will help jumpstart more city-based fitness events and get people in better shape health-wise.
Over 63 to 64% of our adults either overweight or obese. 1 in 5 children are entering our school system already obese. So as we developed our community health improvement plan, certainly at the top of that priority list was recognizing the issue of getting people to eat healthy and to become more physically active.
Corporate Worcester is already getting behind Run Worcester. Bay State Savings Bank will sponsor the 1K fun run. Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare will sponsor the 5K race.
So it's a no-brainer for us to be involved in great events that bring the community together, but also engage folks in healthy activity.
Breege is confident the half marathon will draw runners from all around the Northeast because the event will start and end at Worcester Common.
This is an unbelievable backdrop behind me for the race, and this open space here area is absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to do it.
For Worcester In Focus, I'm Sean Foley.
People wanting to design the half marathon course should go to a website, mapmyrun.com, then post their race course design on the Facebook page, Run Worcester. Brady says he'll choose the winning course based on the number of likes each Facebook entry gets. The main requirement for any entry, the race must start and finish at the Worcester Common. Awards will be presented to the top 3 designers. 1968, LBJ was wrapping up his presidency. Bonnie and Clyde and The Graduate were big at the box office, and the Beatles' Hey Jude was #1 for 9 weeks on the charts. It was also the beginning of the Fair Housing Act. Worcester marked the 45th year of the Fair Housing Act with a conference at Worcester State University. Back then, the federal government implemented the law to prevent housing discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin. The law has been expanded since then, and Massachusetts provides even stricter discrimination protection.
Here in Massachusetts, it's also illegal to discriminate against a renter or a buyer because of their marital status, so whether they're married or not, because of their age, their sexual orientation. One that is new from last year is their gender identity or expression.
The morning conference gave tenants, homeowners, and landlords a chance to learn about fair housing laws, for renters to learn about their rights, and for both landlords and homeowners to have a chance to express their concerns. Turning to the job front, Worcester is working hard to get people back to work. Recently, 2 job fairs were held, co-sponsored by the Central Massachusetts Workforce Investment Board and Workforce Central, both of which are administered through the city's Economic Development Department. Jessica Jakes takes a look at how one city department is helping turn the unemployed into the employed.
The Central Mass Workforce Investment Board is a public-private partnership serving the needs of both employees and employers within the Central Mass region. The board works on initiatives to develop the skills of the labor force in the region, skills employers are looking for to fill jobs. This symbiotic relationship furthers the Workforce Investment Board's mission to promote economic wellness within Worcester and the surrounding area. The first job fair was held at the DCU Center on March 15th. Over the course of 4 hours on a Friday afternoon, more than 1,500 job seekers came in search of employment from 74 companies. The executive director of the Central Mass Workforce Investment Board, Jeff Turgeon, says job fairs help the Worcester economy by bringing employees and employers together faster.
Job fairs are so important these days to help connect job seekers with employers. More and more employers are using online systems. They're often getting hundreds of resumes. So the ability for a job seeker to be able to talk to an employer face to face, get some feedback about what the employer is looking for, how their credentials and skills might match up with what they're looking for. It's just a great opportunity for them that you just don't get, rarely do you get that day to day now in the job search process.
By doing this, employers fill jobs faster, which in turn helps companies grow faster. One such company who participated was Tri-State Trucking from Shrewsbury.
We come to this fair prepared to actually hire people. We're always looking for diesel mechanics. Everything has changed, the way that you actually fix a truck. But we've built our company really on customer service. So we also have openings, entry-level openings in the parts department, so it's a counter, and also in our service department.
Adults aren't the only people looking for employment in Worcester. The second job fair of the spring was geared specifically for high school juniors and seniors, as well as college students. The Workforce Investment Board partnered with Worcester State University to sponsor a youth job fair on March 26.
We brought together almost 40 employers. Many of them had jobs that would be open for the summer. Others had internships or long-term jobs, both part-time and full-time, that students might be interested in. So it's a great chance for young people to find out what jobs might be out there, for them right now, especially moving forward with the summer months coming. A lot of them were looking for summer jobs.
The country is currently experiencing the highest youth unemployment it has ever seen. And many ask why this is significant when so many adults are out of work as well.
Kids that don't learn how to the values of work and understanding the workplace and those skills that are so foundational to success in whatever job you go out there, they don't learn those in their formative years, their teen years. All of a sudden, they're behind the boat when they go looking for a job when they're older, and their employment actually lags into adulthood.
Making an investment in youth jobs now may be the cure for adult unemployment in the future. Both job fairs were a huge success, and many left with a renewed sense of hope that a job would soon be in their future. For Worcester in Focus, I'm Jessica Jakes.
Recently, the Worcester Public Library became one of the only public libraries in the Northeast to take part in launching a new campaign. The library held an open house to give patrons a chance to learn more about computers and technology. It was especially designed for those library patrons who have the technology but aren't always sure how to use it.
Microsoft Word, how to set up an email, learn about Facebook, social media. Do you have questions about your digital devices? So it really gives the public the chance to come in and learn maybe one thing that they could do better online.
In Worcester, we have population, about 1/5 of population that do not have internet access. They do not have a computer at home. So they come to library, take those classes, and use the computers.
This is part of a national campaign designed to make Americans more tech savvy. One of the oldest public parks in America is getting a new look. Dave Gablauskas has our story on the city park that was established way back in 1854.
and I am proud as we celebrate the rebirth of the true Worcester treasure.
Right now, construction vehicles occupy parts of Elm Park in the areas where walkers and sunbathers usually reside. The jewel of the city's park system has not had any major renovations in over a quarter century. So city leaders chose this past Arbor Day to break ground on a multi-million-dollar renovation of Elm Park. It's being called a gift for Worcester's future.
Me, like many of you, have a lot of memories about this park, right? So this is kind of the park where I grew up and played, and my parents, have memories with my parents here. This is the park the very first park that I brought my children to. Me, like many of you, have those kinds of memories, and this is what this park is about.
We are here and making this investment in the future for all of the children that are standing around here and for the generations to come.
The Elm Park Improvement Project will be done in phases. Phase 1, site improvement, is underway now. Eventually, there will be new benches, new picnic tables, as well as lighting, playground repairs, and new pavement. The city and the state are nearly splitting the cost of the $2 million upgrade. Lieutenant Governor Tim Murray says Elm Park is one of the most utilized state parks in the Bay State.
I mean, people in this neighborhood understand how important this park is. People throughout the city understand how important this park is. But quite frankly, this is a national treasure.
Students from both the Elm Park Community School and Doherty High were excited to be on hand for the groundbreaking.
Everyone has experienced something here, and it just means a lot to have it fixed up.
I definitely think it is a great spot for everyone to come in the summer.
All the little kids love the park, and for little kids I feel like this is one of the best parks around, so they'll really love it when it's all finished.
For Worcester In Focus, I'm David Goblaskis.
And Mayor Joseph Petty is setting a goal to establish a trust fund that will take care of Elm Park in the future. Elm Park also got a new tree as part of this year's Arbor Day ceremony. Worcester has been extremely proactive in planting new trees in the city. Parks' Rob Antonelli says Worcester is on track to reach its goal of planting 30,000 new trees in just 5 years. Peggy Middaugh of the Worcester Tree Initiative says parks are an important part of the city's tree planting strategy.
Green space in our lives, research is showing, has a big impact on our health, has a big impact on crime, and it's really just important for people to be able to walk to their local parks.
With all the new planting across Worcester, Middaugh is asking residents to help out the city and water the new trees. In April, the City of Worcester played host to the 3rd Massachusetts Sustainable Communities Conference. This conference at the DCU Center brought energy experts together with area business, government, and education leaders. The aim of the conference is to keep the Bay State on track to reduce its greenhouse gases by 20% by the year 2020. Worcester's Energy Director John Odell says sustainability touches everything.
You can be talking specifically about, transportation and improving bike lanes, for example, to all the way from that to talking about transforming the energy profile of an entire city. The first thing, if I was going to tell anyone, the first step everyone should do is make it personal. And to make it personal, so understand the place you live in. And the best way to do that is to get yourself a mass save audit. It's the first item that I think everyone should do, because then you get to start understanding how you use energy and how your home performs. And whether you rent or whether you own, you can get yourself an energy audit as long as you pay your utility bills.
There's a website to learn more about participating on your own or in a larger group. Massachusetts is already among the nation's best states when it comes to energy efficiency. Worcester is also keeping the city green by helping residents dispose of their unwanted electronic items. On April 13th, a steady stream of cars were lined up at the Public Works drop-off center on Millbury Street to drop off items for free. People left off dozens of computers and computer monitors in every size and color. They also dropped off TVs, even projection televisions, and an electronic piano. A Worcester company provided the labor, transportation, and recycling.
Most of the material here is going to be television sets. And television have cathode ray tubes, which contain about 15% lead by weight on some of the glass. So we also want to keep those materials out of the landfill. And there are some other materials like the plastic and the wire and the circuit boards and the steel we can recycle, and we can actually make new products out of that.
An unnamed manufacturer subsidized the cost of the electronics recycling day. McManus said the sheer number of items dropped off far surpassed the amount collected during a similar event in Boston a few months earlier. Opening hearts and minds, that was the focus of the May Day Mental Health Summit held at Clark University. The idea behind the summit is to educate and raise awareness that mental health is both a public health issue and one that requires a joint community response. Acting City Public Health Commissioner Dr. Michael Hirsch is a trauma surgeon by trade and says physical health and mental health issues are closely related.
A lot of our hospital inpatient volume is filled with patients whose mental health has led to either neglect of their physical health and they've gotten sicker than they normally would, or actually have gotten injured. So I think all of these things are interrelated, and we can't do one without fixing the other.
The recent community health assessment listed mental health issues as the second of the city's top 5 health and wellness priorities. After years of discussions and then planning, Worcester's rapid rehousing program took a big leap forward and landed in a new facility this spring. Dave Gablaskis has that story.
This is a day that's been nearly 10 years in coming.
The PIP shelter is officially no more. The People in Peril shelter closed in May to be replaced by the Greater Worcester Housing Connection Triage and Assessment Center. The South Middlesex Opportunity Council, or SMOC, is operating the new facility at 25 Queen Street.
The city manager brought us to these vacant lots and said, this would be a really good place. You're going to have to do a lot of work, but I think it would be a really good place for a new facility to relocate the PIP.
Today's milestone represents continued progress in so many ways and promise on yet another step forward in our mission to end homelessness here in our city. We've got a lot to be proud of when it comes to that collaborative effort.
City Manager O'Brien and others said this is something new because permanent sheltering is not the answer. The facility provides short-term stays until proper housing is found. And there is what the manager called wraparound support to move the one-time homeless into independent living. It took only 9 months from groundbreaking to ribbon cutting.
It's not always easy to do it, it's not always popular, but we need programs like this.
The new building has 25 rooms for single people on the first floor. On the second floor, there are 15 single rooms for those getting ready to transition into more permanent housing. 25 Queen Street offers both short-term housing for those who need it and also an assessment center to provide long-term support and care.
We need more of these kinds of programs to help individuals get back on their feet who've become homeless, to provide the comprehensive set of services that they need to move into permanent affordable housing in the community.
This is a new facility, state of the art. That is a very important institution for the city. It's in a medical environment. Many of us are hopeful that we're going to start to see a medical community grow within the urban part of the city and not on the outskirts. It's going to create jobs. It's going to create opportunity for people that need help.
The triage center actually reduces the number of available beds for the homeless. The PIP shelter used to house about 50 people in the colder months. For Worcester in Focus, I'm David Gablaskis.
In the midst of all the graduations from area colleges and high schools, this spring was a season of honors for city employees. The city's Director of Planning and Regulatory Services, Joel Fontaine, was honored with the Worcester County Bar Association's Liberty Bell Award. Fontaine was honored for improving the city's land use regulations.
When I received the letter from the bar about the executive committee selection for this award, I had not heard the Liberty Bell Award before. But I quickly learned that this award was one of substance and about something that I sincerely care about, both personally and professionally. I'm truly honored to be this year's recipient. Thank you.
Fontaine received the award during the Bar Association's annual Law Day celebration. They're called Role Models for City Workers. 4 municipal employees were honored with the city's prestigious Thomas Green Public Service Awards earlier this year. The awards give special recognition to public employees for exceptional service. One of the recipients, Jenna Alemberte, was the first civilian to be introduced into the police department's latent print unit.
I receive all the evidence that's collected by our crime scene officers, and I process that evidence for latent prints, which are the residue that's left behind when your finger touches the surface.
Also among those named this year is Patricia Ryan, who has taught for over 20 years in the Worcester School Department.
To me, this award is all about the kids because, as I said in my remarks, I get the opportunity to teach about public service each and every day through all the lessons that I offer about how to be good citizens, how to care about other people, and how to be moral individuals, and how to be critical thinkers.
Rounding out the 2013 Thomas Green Award recipients are retired Navy Commander Michael Maisley Jr. and City School custodian Kevin Shivrick. Coming soon to a big screen near you, the sights of Worcester. That's right, city streets and even city buildings were used in an upcoming Hollywood production. Director David O. Russell brought a film crew to Worcester for the upcoming movie American Hustle. The film is based on the 1970s FBI sting Operation Abscam that led to convictions against several state and federal officials, including members of Congress. With some slight changes, some familiar downtown landmarks became part of the Hollywood set. American Hustle, which will star Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, Amy Adams, and Christian Bale, is currently in post-production. It's scheduled to be released Christmas Day. And we'll certainly keep you updated on the movie. Well, that's a wrap for this production. I'm Colleen Bamford. Thanks as always for tuning in to Worcester in Focus.